Hey, welcome to Unplugged and Muted. This is episode number 5. I'm your host, Ryan, and I can't believe we're already at episode 5. I recorded this one maybe like a month ago. I've been trying to kind of, get more recordings done rather than have to like, oh crap, I got to find someone for this week. So I'm trying to go on a weekly upload basis, do either Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm at college right now, so it's kind of like, it's not, obviously I'm going to have to prioritize that over this, but I'm trying to do what I can to have a somewhat regular upload basis for you guys. So, no, this week I just got on Spotify and all these different other stuff that Buzzsprout has to offer. I'm trying to get on Apple Music right now, but I'm really excited for you guys to see this episode. This is with the home team. I've been listening to their vocalists for years and all kinds of different projects. So it's really crazy to me when I'm like, hey, Brian, you want to do a podcast? He's like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. I'm like, oh, no, it can't be that easy, man. But no, I'm super stoked. Tim and Daniel from the home team came on. It's their vocalist and their drummer. They're really both awesome guys, and I had so much fun doing this. I want to say thank you one more time to being on this podcast. Thank you, and enjoy this one. I'm going to show you guys a clip of their song, Right Through Me. Enjoy. We are live. Welcome to Unplugged and Muted. I have Brian. I think, yeah, I get a little tossed when I try and read that, but then we got Brian and Daniel from the home team, based out of Seattle, Washington. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Just living the dream. I was rocking out to you guys a little bit before the podcast.
Appreciate it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't listened to too much other than the Snowblood album, but that, I guess if you can make someone listen to an album on repeat, like, I don't know, 20 times in like 3 weeks, you got a good product, man. You guys
honestly,
hell yeah.
Don't bother listening to the first record. Slow Bloom's where it's at.
It really is. Like, and honestly, so going through your guys' stuff, and I was telling this before you joined. I was telling this to Brian. At first, I was like, oh, I discovered him through Brotherhood and Stories Away, and I was more used to kind of like hardcore, deathcore type stuff. And going into this, I'm like, oh, I wish he was still doing that. But over time, to give it a week, I was listening to you guys. I'm like, I have to really listen to these guys to get a kind of feel for it, because I just think I had a bias towards my musical preference. But really, you guys are all instrumentally sound and really firm foundational musicians, really.
I think I feel like it's pretty clear when you listen to our band that we all like have a background in heavy music. I mean, we're all big gear nerds. There's a lot of like really heavy, crunchy guitars, stuff that you don't typically find in the genre. And a lot of like, I mean, in Slow Bloom, there's in like the actual song, there's like an over exaggerated 2010s metalcore 808, like not something that you would expect from like a regular pop punk band. It's not like the little thing for effect.
Shit.
Yeah, like I think we literally found the one way back in the day. I had like the guitarist of I Declare War sent me the 808 that he got from the Devil Wears Prada when they were on Warped Tour, and he's like, bro, this is the fucking one. And I think that's what ended up making it into the record. Just super obnoxious. So very clear that we all come from metal.
Oh yeah, no, I really enjoy metal, but I really do enjoy your guys' sound. So Daniel? All right, let's start with Daniel. What are your music? Well, what got you into playing drums?
The story of how I started playing drums is pretty uneventful. Basically, in 5th grade, everyone in my school had to be in band or orchestra, and I thought playing like violin or clarinet was going to be lame. So I auditioned. So I had my dad sign me up for drum lessons because you had to audition for drums because everyone wanted it. And then I took drum lessons for a year, said I was going to play drums for 1 year so I could, like get out of this dumb music thing. And here I am, 18 years later, still going.
Yeah. What would you say your biggest inspirations were when you actually started getting into drums?
Nu metal really was the big one.
Okay.
Like Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, System of a Down.
Oh, yeah.
That was like those are like the first bands that I went and found like on my own. I mean, I heard them on the radio or whatever, but like those were like the first CDs that I went out and I got those on my own, and I like actually was like digesting the music and trying to figure out like how to, what makes the guitar sound so angry? Like, why does their drum sound like this and mine doesn't? So that would like the like early 2000s new metal was huge for me.
That's awesome. All right, so Brian, how did you start out on vocals, or did you start out with a different instrument?
I started on guitar, dude. I'm a Guitar Hero baby.
Yes, me too.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
No, I was I think it was like 7th grade. My dad got us a PS2, and because he wanted to play Guitar Hero, like he was like, "Oh, I saw this cool new game. I want to play Guitar Hero with you guys." I was like, all right. So I started playing it way more than everybody else, and I got really, really good at it. And eventually my dad watched me play. He's like, yo, you need a real guitar.
We had the same story, man.
That's so funny. And so, that year he bought me like a shitty Les Paul for Christmas because he was like, we'll see if he sticks to it, right? And so 2 years later, after I'd played a shit ton, I'd wrote my own songs, he got me what ended up the guitar that I still have to this day, which was a nicer one, it's a GML Rampage, and from there I formed Stories Away, as you mentioned earlier, and I was playing guitar. I was doing all the guitar in that band, and the only reason I ever started singing in the first place was because we couldn't find replacement singers for the dudes that we ended up having to kick out, and so it was one of those things that was just like, well, shit, like I know how to hold a pitch. I know how this works. I should just give it a shot. And so...
How did you and Brian meet?
So Brian auditioned for the band when he was 19. I had actually met him because I used to work for a screen printing shop in Seattle. And so I helped a lot of the local bands get their first orders of shirts. So he and I were Facebook friends, and he was just another guy from a local band. And so he basically we had one singer for like one tour and one EP. Brian's loosely back singer. Yes, we had one singer for like 6 months. And then we had one tour. Okay.
Are we back? Okay, yeah, we're good.
I'll finish my story.
Yeah, all right.
So we had one singer for like one EP that we basically scrubbed from the internet. We did one tour with him in like 2013. Ended up, leaving, or we just parted ways. Then we had another singer who filled in for one tour. We recorded one song that we eventually re-recorded with Brian. So he was in the band for 6 months. Then he told Brian that he should audition for the band. Brian, funny enough, actually was the first person to ever buy our first EP off of Bandcamp.
Really?
So he bought a physical copy of the original EP. And then so Brian, his audition was pretty funny because he had just played a show like the night before with Stories Away. And at the time we were tuning in, I think like half step down standard. So like pretty high. And the original singer, it's hard to sing that high. So Brian's first practice with us didn't go so well. And John, our guitarist, was like, nah, dude's crap. It's not the one. We got to find someone else. And I was like, I don't know, dude. I feel like he's got some potential. Pretty good excuse for having just played a show. Let's give him another shot. Next practice, he was way better. And then rest is history.
And here we are. We got Brian back.
I'm back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
It's all good. I never missed the opportunity to remind Brian that I pulled him out of the local band gutter.
Oh my God, shut up. I knew exactly what you motherfuckers were talking about as soon as came back in.
Yeah, wait, you were telling what I can't remember what story Brian was telling though. We got two.
I was telling about Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Okay.
Very short. Long story short, I started singing. I basically, I got my ropes in Stories Away, and then I used what I learned to join the home team.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think you're a good fit because it's how I found you was in Brotherhood off of Jared Dine's project, and I thought you had some really nice clean, kind of softer screams. Not like the, not deep gutturals, but everyone in the Brotherhood project I thought was freaking phenomenal. My personal favorite, not to like, you're my favorite in the highs, and then for screams was Zesty Sam's. I thought he was pretty hardcore. I don't know what happened.
Love it. I can tell you exactly what happened to him. Zesty's one of our best friends. He Zesty has done merch for us for a long time. He hasn't been on the last couple tours. We have a new like full-time merch person. But Zesty toured with us a bunch. He lives in Tucson, Arizona now, and every time we go down to Arizona, we always stay with him and hang out. He's been up. He comes up every once in a while. Still one of our best friends.
Oh yeah.
He was one of your groomsmen, Daniel.
That's another good
nice.
One of my groomsmen in my wedding.
Very close friends. There you go. Yeah, so what I guess all right, speaking of tours, what has been your guys' favorite, and you guys can both have a different answer.
I think favorite tour is probably everyone in the band's going to say the same thing. Is the Ever Blossom tour with This Wildlife and Broadside. Just like the hangs were 10 out of 10, no egos, no drama. Everyone was like super supportive. Everyone was just like great musicians, great to be around. Had a just super fun time.
That's awesome.
I concur. That tour was incredible.
You gotta really appreciate the moments like that where it's just like, everyone's just kind of like, just being chill about it. It's just, you're all there to achieve the same thing, so just kind of help each other out, make sure everyone's like staying within good vibes and all that. That's good.
Yeah, the whole tour flew by. I mean, it was only like 3.5 weeks, but it just flew by because every show was so easy. Everyone was so cool, had a great time. This Wildlife gave us like our first real chance at a support slot. Their merch guy, Adam, he used to play in a band that we toured with, and we've known him for a long time, and now he prints all of our merch. And he basically was telling them like, yo, you guys got to check out this record, like this band, take them out. They're going to pop off. So big props to Adam for helping us get that. And huge thank you to This Wildlife, because they were the first band to like really take a shot on us and bring us out on our first like big support tour. And they've been nothing but like super kind guys to us the whole time, giving us tons of advice. We saw them a couple weeks ago when their last tour came through Seattle, and they're always super helpful, ton of advice, kind of like mentor figures for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, so speaking, I guess, of working with bigger bands, I guess the biggest shock to me off Slow Bloom was your song Danger with Jeff Loomis and Vale Maya. Do you want to talk about how you guys got in contact with them for a collaboration?
For sure. So as far as Jeff goes, he's a friend of the guy that we were having engineer the album. And we were kind of joking about having a guitar solo there. And Aaron, the engineer, was like, I can ask Jeff. And we're like, really? He's like, yeah, I bet he'd do it. And he did. And he crushed it.
Oh, yeah.
It was incredible. It's like, we were so blown away. He texted us like the day he was recording it. Like, hey guys, I'm like 10 hours into tracking this thing. My fingers are bleeding. We were like, bro, you did not have to go this hard. You could have phoned it in. We still would have loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'd say not to say every best song has to be a collaboration, but that's one of my favorites off the album, honestly, just because it's such a sick solo at the end, and then the little guitar riff at the end just really ties it all in a nice little cherry.
So fun fact, Brian is actually the one who wrote and plays the lead at the end. That's not the solo. So yeah, that was Brian.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that lead a lot.
And then Veil of Maya. So we played with Lucas's side project in Minneapolis in like 2019 on a full US that we were doing. And it was like, there was no one there. There was a show. There's actually a very funny live video where there's like, I think there's maybe 2 people in the crowd watching.
And one of them's Lucas.
Yeah, and we had like at that point we had a bass player who's not in the band anymore, and our guitarist John wasn't there for like 3 shows. He had to fly home for something, and so we had like a fill-in guitar player. So if you watch the video, it's Brian and me and 2 guys who aren't in the band, and there's no one in the crowd. But basically we played that show with his other band, and I remember Brian being like, "Hey, I think that's Lucas from Veil of Maya over there." We're like, why is he here? Turns out we were playing with his other band. We just shot the shit after the show, and then hit him up when we were recording the record, and he agreed to do a guest spot.
That's sweet.
Yeah, he's in the second chorus doing all the ad libs and shit.
Yeah. No, he killed it. That was a really nice little lineup of guest features you had for that song. That's
Hell yeah.
awesome. Yeah. What would you say your guys' personal favorites are off that album?
My number 1 is definitely Watching Other Friends Get Rich, but I will say my number 2 is Danger.
Okay. What about you, Daniel?
I think overall my favorite song is On, but Right Through Me is contending for that. Like Right Through Me is super fun to play live, and I like when we were recording, even in the demo phase, I knew I was like, that song is going to be big for us. Like this is going to be one that people fuck with.
Oh yeah.
On's the sleeper track.
Yeah. What would you say is the hardest one for you to play on drums live?
Ooh,
Whether it be
song.
technically or you just can't remember.
Scary Movies is the hardest one. I wrote some really dumb sticking patterns in there. Just some of the fills that I wrote. Actually, basically all the fills in that like lead with my left hand. So it's like instead of doing like right hand, left hand, and then foot, they go like left hand, right hand, foot, just because of the way that it moves around the kit. And honestly, like that's the only part of the set that I have to routinely practice to make sure that I'm like, I don't fuck that up.
Yeah. So actually, this is kind of off topic, but I went to see I the Breathers' 10th anniversary tour this year for one of their albums, and their drummer had to do a filler for one of their opening acts, and he was reading MIDI live.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. He had
shit.
it like open up in FL Studios. He's just like looking over here, just playing the drums. I'm like,
my
wow.
God.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It's like, to me, I the Breeders not technically that difficult, but that to not even play in your band and to read just MIDI live, that's next level.
Holy shit. I mean, I'm sure he practiced them to some degree and was using that as like a failsafe, but damn, that's still wild.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, I mean, like sight reading. Like I cannot sight read. For me, it's mostly like I can familiarize myself with the part. So like when we record in the studio, I tab everything out beforehand. So when I go to actually play, like I'm reading sheet music, but it's like I already know how to play it. It's just kind of a little reminder.
Yeah.
Or if I forget, like, oh, where does this fill come in? You know, I can see it. I could not imagine playing in front of people doing that.
Yeah, no, it's like just like you said, it's like memorizing a script for like, let's say you're part of a play, you memorize a script, but then you just have the notes with you, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So, I guess what's been the hardest song off Slow Bloom to record in the studio? What was the one that gave you the most issue?
Ooh, for me, Danger, just because of like all the craziness in that song. And then honestly, Another Night Alone with You was really tough to record. It's just really low in my register, so it was hard to get like really emotional takes, like really good takes that I love. And like some of the really low falsetto parts were tough. It was just for the opposite reason most people think. It was just really low in my register, and it was tough to handle.
Yeah, you reach a nice set of higher notes, which I appreciate because it's like a lot of people can't do that. I know I can't. I do it. When I do, it's just like people are like, "Yeah, stop," you know.
Trust me, it was the same way for me.
Oh yeah, but you practiced and here you are. That's awesome.
Hell
yeah. So, I guess what would say for you, Brian? What was the best thing that helped you with your vocal training?
Oh my God, touring, 100%, 110% touring. Touring forces you to get better.
Oh yeah.
Because like, if you don't want to fuck up and look bad in front of like people that are there to see you, you got to get better. And you just got to do it. And touring makes you do it. And so I remember the first tour I ever went on with these guys. I'd never been on a tour before, my first tour with the home team. And I was singing material that was like out of my range. It was really difficult. And by night 3, I was shot. And it was like a rude awakening of what tour will do to you as a musician. And so the years and years of DIY touring that we did, like, although it didn't gain us a ton of fans, like it did get us a lot of like, I don't know. There are definitely some diehards from back in the DIY touring days that are still with us today. But the number one thing that it did for us was got us prepared for touring in the future. When now we're ready to tour in front of a lot of people because we haven't figured out. And yeah, it's just like, it just forces you to get good. And so, I mean, having done 14 DIY tours before doing the support slots that we've been doing, it was just one tour after another was just getting better and better. And so anybody who's trying to get better at singing, that is my number one recommendation. Just either do it every single day or tour your ass off.
And the reps help, like just the touring reps helped us as not just like musicians, but also like as a business and as a cohesive, unit, because one of the things that people don't really think about is that playing music is 1/48th of what we do on tour. Like we play for 30 minutes a night. There's 23 and a half hours that aren't playing music. And so there's so much else that goes on. And there's like, you're constantly around the same people. We are, forced to be around each other basically the whole day. So you learn, how to get along with everybody, how to dumb things like if you have a long drive, how to make it so that you're comfortable driving through the night, sleeping at a truck stop, and then hitting a Planet Fitness like the next morning so everyone can shower. Like things like that just are not anything close to what you do on a regular day basis, like at home. So the reps of DIY touring, like over and over again, had us really like lock down how we go about touring. So now that we have made it into like kind of the support world, we already know how to tour with each other. And so it's not like this big thing, like life-changing event that we're getting prepared for. It's like, we know how to do this. Now we just have to order more merch than we usually do.
Yeah. Well, probably over time as filling your support slots, people are like, oh, hey, I know the home team. And you guys are probably getting a lot more merch sales, especially with the Slow Bloom album, I would assume.
Yeah, that things have increased in size over the last like year or so.
Pretty drastically.
Yeah.
Well, even like last week, I was looking at your guys' like monthly followers, so I was like kind of teasing my friends, like, oh, I'm having this pop punk band on that has like 300K, and now I just checked like before we did this, and it's like 322K. I'm like, holy cow, man, that's like 20,000 in a week. But it probably fluctuates too as people like find new stuff and like, oh, well, I'm gonna go, let's get my kick of this or whatever. And that's how I listen to music. Like I get so fixated on like a band that I listen to them for like a week. Like I just drain my energy of just that band. Like that's at least how it was for me for Sleepwaker. I listened to their albums for like a month, and then I didn't listen for like 2 months. And I went back. I'm like, oh, this is like all new music. But yeah. Have you guys been to any? Sorry, you can go.
Oh no, I was just gonna comment on that. Usually, I feel like when new music comes out, like all your metrics kind of go up a little bit, and then as people have digested it, and like the fans who were there at the start, like you said, I've kind of had their way with the music, and they like have moved on. Those numbers typically drop. I feel like ours have just been kind of slowly rising over the past year, which is a good sign. It means people are coming around and they're sticking around.
I'm coming around. I didn't like you. Well, not to say I didn't like you guys. I liked the instruments. Remind me a lot of Dance Gavin Dance, like I said before. But now it's like, well, these guys kind of have their own sound too, and it's really professional level of musicianship from everyone. Like,
I mean, I've had the exact same thing. For me, like I was introduced to Don Broco like 3 times before I feel like I kind of got it. And the first time I was like, yeah, this is, it's dancey, which I don't really like. It's not, aggressive, so it's not for me. Second time, I'm like, this is weird, not for me. And then like the 4th time, I remember being on tour, it was, I think it was Brian and our old guitarist that were like listening to their album Technology kind of on repeat. And like the third or fourth time listening through, like now it's like one of my all-time favorite bands. So that's how it works.
It's fun how that works out. It's just like, yeah, it's like getting adapted to a certain taste of something, or trying to find, what you do like in something. That's nice. Would you say you have anything like that for bands you listen to, Brian?
Well, I mean, Broco, I have the same exact story where at first I was like, this is weird, I don't know about this. And then I totally got into it. But honestly, some albums, there are some albums like that where a band I really like will release an album that I'm like, I don't know, this is different from what they've done in the past. And so I don't really vibe with it at first. But then over time, as I digest it and I come to kind of understand it, that it becomes one of my favorite albums of all time. And actually, funny enough, my example is probably Mothership by Dance Gavin Dance. When that came out years ago, I was listening to them religiously, and that's my example. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep. We heard Mothership by Dance
cool.
Gavin Dance. Yeah.
Yeah, when it first came out, I was like, not about it. It was just really weird. And then over time, it became my favorite DG album.
Nice, yeah. I think I don't know if any of you guys know Sleepwaker from Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's how it was with me with their Alias album, sorry. I keep saying Elias all the time. Alias album a lot. Because I really like their Lost in Dreams album, and that just because just the brutal rawness of it. Then Alias came out, and I'm like, oh, I don't really like it too much. But now after they broke up, I'm like, man, I actually really like that album. But yeah. Did you get to see them live before they broke up?
No, I haven't seen them.
They were really
nice.
nice.
No, yeah. I never saw them either.
No, so have you guys played a show in Iowa?
No, we haven't played a show in Iowa, but we are playing a headliner in Ames.
When, dude?
It's what?
September 24th, 5th.
September
I got
20.
it. Let me check this.
I think
September 26th.
I think it's Monday, September 26th.
Dude, I go to Iowa State, and that's Ames.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, that's why I was like, when?
So funny.
Yeah, no, so it's a Monday, isn't it?
I think so. Let me pull up. I have the itinerary from our agent.
Pull that up, man. I need to
look,
know.
It's,
do you know how much ticket prices are?
It's the maintenance shop.
I haven't been to it. I haven't gone out a lot in Ames. I'm more of just like that guy that goes to class and goes home and just de-stresses. Yeah.
That was me in college. Looks like it's $14.
$14. That'd be sweet. Yeah, I'll have to try and get some buddies to go out. That'd be sweet, man.
Monday the 26th.
Y'all might be the only ones there.
Maybe. You guys, that's a headliner show?
Yeah, we're doing 2 routing dates. We're playing Spokane, which is Eastern Washington, and then Ames on the way out to the Real Friends tour. So we do a show, drive for 2 days, a show, drive for a day, and then we meet up with the tour. That's
crazy. I'm gonna do my dang best to be there, dude. As you guys are being on here supporting the podcast, and yeah, the podcast. Cool. I'm trying to do just one a week, and this is gonna be episode number 5, and I only have 2 out right now. Number 3 is coming out this week, so it'll be on 3 weeks. But yeah,
sweet.
Yeah, no, that I'll go. You guys have my word. I'll be there. Because honestly, Tuesday's the suckiest day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm done by 10. So it's if I can't find time to make that show, it's just I guess I'm just kind of a piece of shit, right? Granted, I have some teacher assisting to do this semester, but that's only 10 hours a week. It's no way that's going on at what time's the show? Do you know?
Well, look.
Probably around 9ish. Early. We'd probably be going around 9ish.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't see a specific time on it.
When's the doors?
Oh wait, no, I do see it. It's, doors are at 7:30, shows at 8. I think those are gonna be 2 locals, so we probably put 9:30 or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll be there. I'll be there for you guys. And shout out to all my Ames friends. You guys got to go support these guys. You guys are really neat. Yeah. No, really, you guys are good. And I'd be really curious. Well, because my thing is, you hear a band in the studio, you're well, how are they live? That's always the $1 million question. I'm sure you guys are good if you somehow manage to get a show in Ames.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll see for yourself. We come from metal and hardcore background, so like live show is like that's a big deal for us. We're all gearheads. You'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, I know John's an Aristides guitarist.
Yeah.
So those are pretty high class. I've seen Enterprise Earth this year. Their guitarist Gabe, he's an Aristides guitarist too.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm seeing them that Wednesday, actually, 2 days from now. Yeah. They're coming through Quad Cities, Iowa, on the Illinois and Iowa border. So I gotta go check them out again. So I'm in Iowa City. But if you guys ever get to go to Iowa City for a show, Wildwood, it's like this old little saloon type place that has like 2 layers to it, but it has this nice built out pit in it. Then the stage is kind of like, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet above the crowd. But we had Sleepwaker come through, and like some person in the crowd, I think it was one of the other bands, but they were like feeding their guitarist just like a chicken strip while he's like doing a set. just being a goofball. But no, it was really nice. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite venues of that, or Vol Air in Des Moines. So Wildwood and Vol Air for you guys. I don't know if you guys will have another headliner in. Well, those are like big cities in Iowa. I don't know if you guys will have headliners there like this year, but in the future though, it'd be nice to see you guys there. Just knowing you guys grew that big, and I see the potential too. I really do. It's like,
thanks,
yeah. No, absolutely. So, has anyone been to your guys' shows that you haven't expected to see?
Yeah, so we got a good story about that. Corey Taylor has been to 2 of our shows because we have played with his niece's band in Vegas twice.
Really?
I mean, he doesn't stay. He watches them and then leaves. But there have been 2 times where we saw Corey Taylor, and I very specifically remember we were doing sound check, and he was talking with his niece and their band, and like I start sound checking my kick drum, and I see him kind of bob his head with the kick drum for a second, and then the second guitars start playing, he hugs his niece and walks out. So we've been in the same room as Corey Taylor twice.
That's gotta be a good feeling, though. I mean, that's pretty sweet.
3rd time's a charm. We'll get him to watch.
Oh yeah, 3rd time. Come through Des Moines, his hometown.
Fair enough.
I bet you'll go to one of those. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how much I don't even know if he's in Iowa anymore.
Yeah, this was in Vegas.
I think he lives out there.
You think he lives in Vegas now? Yeah, probably.
That's what I think.
Yeah. All I've read was like his book, The 7 Reasons Why I Hate You, and that was like a lot of the early like Slipknot days talking about that. But Brian, have you got to meet anyone that you thought was cool at a show?
Well, I mean, we already told you the story of Lucas.
It
was pretty funny. But to expand on that, I was a huge Veil of Maya fan, specifically after he joined the band. And I know some OG Veil of Maya fans are going to be like, wow, really? That's what it took? But no, I really loved his vocal style. And throughout college, like my junior year of college, I was listening to Matriarch like nonstop. And so to hang out with him that night, and we ended up like going out for drinks afterwards, and I played it so cool. Like I was like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to fanboy. I'm not going to do shit. We're just a band that played with another band, and we're both trying to be on the come up. You know what I mean? And so we just talked about plans, and we only asked him about his other band. And then at the very end of the night, we're all saying goodbye. And I was like, hey, by the way, Matriarch basically got me through my junior year of college. And he was like, oh, man, that's sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah, that one was pretty cool for me. And now him and I still stay in contact today.
Nice, yeah. Well, that's how you got the feature in the song Danger. But, yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. You got to really cherish those moments like that where, you get to be buddy-buddy with someone you really look up to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so... Do you guys have a lot of endorsements individually for music gear?
John and Daniel mostly. I don't really have much of a reason to be endorsed other than maybe a microphone company, but I've never really shot my shot, to be honest.
Yeah, endorsements are weird because like basically no one gets anything for free, so it's just kind of like artist pricing. So we have like an artist endorsement with 64 Audio, which is the company that makes our in-ear monitors. I get like through some other means, I work pretty closely with the artist rep at Zildjian. So I get a really good deal on my cymbals. John is an Aristides artist, so he gets his guitars at a little bit of a discount. Granted, the discount, like, it's a custom, it's a small high-end guitar company, so like he's still paying thousands of dollars for his guitars, but he gets treated super well. And like the team at Aristides, his rep, will send him, when we went to the studio, sent like 3 guitars over for us to play around with. Anytime he posts anything, they always share it. So Aristides is definitely like one of the companies that treats John like super well. And we have also an Ernie Ball endorsement, so we get strings.
Nice.
And we have, I think Ryan plays Music Man bass, right?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, I saw that on his page. Yeah,
he does.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
He plays a 5.
Oh, and I'm getting my first custom SJC kit.
Nice.
Like, it's supposed to be coming in any day now for this next tour. So I didn't sign anything, but like, I got an artist pricing deal with them.
Nice. Yeah, well, I was talking the last episode. I was talking to Alex Coates from Doppelganger. They're prog metal from the Quad Cities, my hometown. But no, he just got an endorsement with Kiesel this year, and he's like, yeah, they're giving me like 3 free guitars that I just designed on my own, and so I
That's
didn't know.
crazy.
That is sick.
Yeah.
Getting stuff like for free is like pretty rare.
Yeah,
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised when you said that. Well, because I don't know much about endorsements, and I'm just a bedroom guitarist. I don't know anything.
Yeah, usually usually you get a nice big discount, but at the same time, like, we're usually picking like the most expensive high end stuff.
Oh yeah,
that we want. So maybe we would get some of the lower end stuff for free, but we don't want to use that.
Yeah, right. No, I get that. Right.
We're good.
Sweet, back. All right. Speaking of local kind of music, when we were talking about that, when you guys come through Ames, do you guys like barbecue?
The majority of us, yeah. I am vegan, so I probably wouldn't eat any meat. But if there's anything like that, there is definitely vegan barbecue out there that has blown my mind.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'd be in Ames, but it's a college town. So
yeah. Well, I'm thinking Midwest. It's like more like beef farming and stuff, and like corn farming. I don't know. You can try, but it's called Hickory Farms. That is probably the talk of the town for Ames. Hickory Farms.
Word.
It's really great barbecue. Like, I've only been there once, but they have like these massive, just 1-pound burgers, and like I got this one called the Mammoth. That thing was just like double stacked half-pounders with like melted cheese all across it. But I know that might entice you, Daniel. But Brian, I'm sorry, but
all good.
There might be a vegan option. I don't know. You have to call them up and ask. Like,
I feel like now we're spoiled over here because like every restaurant basically has vegan options. So like, I'm not vegan, but Brian and I used to live together, and his influence has hit me pretty tough. So like, I don't really cook any meat at home, but like, I'm gonna be real. When I'm in like Memphis, I'm probably gonna have some like some barbecue.
You gotta.
It's more of a culinary thing. Like, I just want to try the local foods.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. So let me open up the question again. Sorry. Okay. So, all right. So going through endorsement, went through that. Do you guys have any side projects or solo stuff you do?
Ooh,
you're looking at it, baby.
You're looking at it. So, all right, what's your guys' main projects then?
Well, the home team, but
no, the home team is everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything. No, so I was gonna say I don't have a side project, but eventually I've thought about doing something. I just don't want to. I just see a lot of like artists will do side projects before their main project really has the chance to flourish. And so I don't want to. I just, long story short, I don't want to take any attention away from the home team while we're hitting it hard. But eventually, I would really like to make some like lo-fi chill hop music. I think that'd be really cool.
Do it. Or are there any way you can incorporate that into the home team?
I already did. Another night alone with you, baby.
All right. Do you want to do more lo-fi in the home team?
Maybe as like supplementary stuff. I'm not trying to change the genre.
Right. Well, what band did I just have on? I had Artifice on their metalcore and new metal from Memphis, Tennessee, actually. Just that we were talking about that. Funny that we just talked about that. But no, they had an intro song on their latest album. So I don't know if you could like play around with like an intro song, kind of like lo-fi, and then jump into pop punk. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, it might look something like that, or like the bridge of a song.
Right. Yeah, not something like a main, but just kind of like a hey, here's a little featured genre in here. That'd be neat, really.
For sure.
Trying to blend those two genres. So.
Oh, actually, funny. We do. So John and I do have a side project. I totally forgot about. So we recorded a black metal EP with Sky Accord. So he used to be in Issues, now in 21 Pilots, and he produced our record. We recorded in 2016 a black metal EP, like 5 songs that have been sitting in our email for like 6 years. We were just like, things got put on the back burner. We wrote the songs, recorded them, and then never really did anything. At some point, we will release this, and I can't wait to see the Lamb Goat articles of new band, black metal band Death Rights releases EP featuring members of 21 Pilots and the home team. Can't wait to get absolutely annihilated by Lamb Goat commenters. But yeah, we have an EP. It is really good. I'm biased.
Yeah, well, you have every right to be biased. I think that'd be sweet. I mean, really interesting to see that coming from, those genres of musicians. But, well, like you guys both said, you guys both have a background in hardcore, metalcore, deathcore,
Yeah.
So,
And
I don't know
Sky,
about 21 Pilots, though. What they do.
Sky is super obvious. Every promo he's ever taken for Issues, he's wearing super culty black metal shirts.
Nice. So, all right. So, Brian, with you, would now be an okay time to talk just a little bit about the Brotherhood series?
Totally.
So, how did that start off? Were you in the first episode?
I was not in the first or second, but I was in the third and everything past that. So I met Jared he recorded for Stories Away. He recorded some of our music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was only one song that we ended up doing there. We went and recorded 2 more, but we never ended up putting them out just because we never finished them. But he, I think it was just word of mouth that we found him because he wasn't a YouTuber or anything at the time. He had made the first 2 Brotherhood videos, but he hadn't made that one like 10 Styles of Metal video that blew him up.
Right.
And so we went out there and had a great time recording with him, and Austin Dickey was hanging out, and Austin was just like the sweetest fucking guy, and he was always like there, just like good vibes, complimenting our music and giving out ideas. And long story short, I got invited to go to the third one just because I had built that relationship, and then everything past that, it was just a staple at that point. I was just like, yep, totally coming down. It was a haul because he lives not close to Seattle. He lived like an hour and a half south. But it was worth it. They were a lot of fun. And then, I didn't meet Zesty there, but we knew of each other. And then it wasn't until we started going on tour together that we became friends. But everybody was freaking out about Zesty's feature, dude. His bit was good on that third one. Yeah,
I know,
like, who
man.
The fuck is that, bro?
Yeah, I would say that one and then the Shannon Hawk ones were probably my favorite 2 Brotherhood episodes.
R.I.P. Shannon Hawk.
Yeah,
Shannon's crazy.
Yeah, no, I really liked Zesty's little bit, and you can really see that he was getting emotional doing that piece in that episode 6. Which is nice, though, really, because it adds more just truth and just emotion and really just a nice front to it. But
straight up,
do you guys have still be in contact with anyone from that Brotherhood series?
I mean, loosely, kind of. I would say so. Ryan is our bassist now. He was in For the Likes of You with Austin Dickey, and he was in those Brotherhood videos as well, just kind of doing backup vocals.
Nice.
Yeah.
For the Likes of You was awesome.
Yeah, he was around. Oh yeah, he's the lead singer and bassist of that band.
Nice.
And now he is our bassist.
Yeah, you guys just were like We'll just take you over here.
Yeah, we did a tour with Jared's old band and For the Likes of You, and we had known him like from around the area for a while, just playing local shows. But that's like the first time where we kind of got to hang out with him. And then when we needed a new bass player, it was pretty like he was the only one on the list basically.
Yeah, well, no, that's awesome. It just kind of worked out that way. I mean, you guys, it seems like you guys are pretty foundationally sound now for your guys' current member
now
line.
we have. Yeah, now like we got the lineup.
Oh yeah, it's like this is what's set in stone, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Let's talk a little bit more about the Slow Bloom album. When did you guys start writing it?
I mean, the first song was written towards the end of 2019. Scary Movies was the first song that we wrote. We actually were playing it. We played it on a couple tours in 2019. So there's cell phone footage on YouTube of that song like back before it was finished.
No tracks.
Yeah, so we started writing that in 2019. I think was Another Night Alone with You next, Brian?
No, now we actually might have been even older. I'm not really sure. They were probably kind of happening in tandem. I think the original idea for Another Night Alone with You is probably the oldest thing on Slow Bloom, but the song didn't get finished until after we'd finished Scary Movies and after we'd finished Grievance Pay.
Yeah.
Which one was the new one that you guys just added on the deluxe album?
That was Grievance Pay.
Okay.
That was one of the oldest ones. Yeah. The only reason we pulled that originally was just because it was a little different from everything else, as you probably heard.
Yeah.
It's still a good song, so we did go through with recording it. But we were like, let's just hold it so that we have something to release later and people can enjoy having new life breathed into the album. But so Grievance Pay, Scary Movies, and then there might have been one or two before we ended up hitting Move It or Lose It, which Move It or Lose It, we wrote like at the end of 2019, and that kind of paved the way for the rest of the album. Because next came Right Through Me, then next came Watching Other Friends Get Rich, and then after that I don't really remember the order, but those three songs were like the original three that were gonna like identify the rest of the album. And it's particularly Move It or Lose It. That one we were like, whoa, what the hell? This is such a weird sound for us. We should totally do this. And then the rest is history.
Nice. What would you say the easiest song to record was? I know you talked about kind of like the hardest one. But what was like the one where you're just kind of like, what the fastest or easiest for you guys?
To record? I mean...
For me, it was probably Right Through Me because that was the song that was one of the older ones. So I had practiced it the most. And there's really nothing like super crazy.
Right.
Drum wise.
Yeah.
Like the fills are all, it's all the same. Like I basically have one sticking pattern that I like recycle in like half the songs on the record. So it's like right hand, left hand, right foot, and a little drum hack. You move that around the kit, throw in a closed hi-hat every now and again. Sounds way more complicated than it is. So it's just like I use that fill constantly. And it just, if you change what drums you hit, it sounds completely different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, see, now this is what's cool. It's like having different band members on. It's like not just all guitarists, but it's like now I get to learn a little bit about drums because I've only played guitar for like, I don't know, 7 years or something. But it's like I know a lot about guitar, but now I get to learn about drums and vocals today. That's sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's like just watching like some crazy drummer, just like even though it's just like a pattern, it's still just like I cannot imagine using like a double bass or just like two pedals in general, and still trying to hit stuff up here. It's like I'm good at looking down at my guitar and like doing that, But no, that's really cool. I respect drummers a lot.
I mean, even when you watch like a crazy shred drummer that's doing like incredibly complicated stuff, what they're doing is they're doing what's called like a sticking pattern. So some combination of like maybe this one's right hand, left hand, foot, right hand or something. Just pick any arbitrary combination and then you just do that, move it all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So like all those things, even though they're like improvising it, they're just doing things that they know how to, like sticking patterns they already know, and then moving it all over the place. That's usually what like the crazy solos are.
Yeah, like stuff you
Which
see. Like,
I realize I just described what drums are, hitting things with some combination of your hands, but it's like You figure out how to do one combination of things, and then you just move it all over the place.
Who do you say well, not the coolest. I mean, that's kind of very hard to pick out, but most like innovative drummer that you know or listen to.
Ooh, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't really pay attention to too many drummers. I will give a shout out to my buddy Victor, who he used to play in a band called Numbers. They won like the Sumerian Battle of the Bands in like 2011 or something. I've taken some drum lessons from him, and he went to like the Berklee School of Music.
Oh, nice.
And I've taken like a lot of my sticking patterns have come from just watching his videos, because he's a full-time drum teacher. So I have gotten a lot of my ideas from watching him play.
I would say probably for me, it's like Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. I don't know if you've seen like a lot of his stuff, but that was my gateway into becoming a musician. I saw their final tour in like 2014, and just seeing Mick Mars, I'm like, dude, this guy has ankylosing spondylitis, bent over on stage in his 60s, but he's still rocking Kickstart My Heart, all the good stuff. But no, then Tommy Lee had this drum solo where it's like this little roller coaster type deal. So it's like, imagine this. Here's your stage right here. Here's the crowd. Goes up like this. Kind of has like a double arch like that. Brings you like here. And all the meantime, he's like flipping in like a circle. And he's harnessed to the drum set.
That's crazy.
But it's a medley of like EDM, hip-hop, rock, rap, stuff like that. So that was really neat. And then Nikki Sixx, her bassist, had like a flamethrower attached to his bass. And they had like the Satanic Star like above his mic, like holding his mic, and he just lit that on fire during Shout the Devil. So it was a really sick concert. But
yeah, man, we're basically couple tickets away from being that size.
We'll be there. Hey, let's recreate that concert in Ames at the maintenance shop. That'd be sick. Yeah, I don't think they'd like pyrotechnics in there. That'd be sick though. Just take it out to a field or something. Let's see what happens out there. But no, totally stoked for you guys to come through Ames. But okay, so we got the fastest, longest song. How do you guys feel about the song "Sails" off of Slow Bloom? That's one of my favorites. That are more
right on.
Chill. Yeah, it's very
cool.
chill. Yeah, and I feel like
love Sails.
Coming from like, well, me, I say I love deathcore, but Sails kind of is like a nice chill out song.
Okay, yeah, no, I love Sails. It is the least streamed song on the record, but we looked at it as like, this is either going to be the least streamed or the most streamed. Like, this is either going to take off as an acoustic like anthem that people latch onto, or it will get dwarfed by the rest of the album. And it was the latter, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But I do love Sails because lyrically, it's one of my favorite songs on the record. There are some lines in there that I like. Lyrics have been definitely the hardest part for me as far as writing music goes. I think sometimes it's the easiest part for singers, but like melody wise, I'm good. I can think of plenty of interesting melodies. It's lyrics that trip me up a lot, and finding things that go together really well, and finding things that sound phonetically really cool, but also impact you like from a significant standpoint, and what it means and what it says and what it implies. And so that one, I feel like I just had some of my best lines in that one. I was really proud of it.
Yeah. No, to me that was really. I feel like such a turd for saying this, but wasn't that the one with like the humming part or like the nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I was talking about that because it's like I'm literally looking at my notes. I'm like, that's. Yeah, I know that was one of my favorite ones. Who was? Oh yeah, here's another question. Who is the main songwriter for Sails?
John wrote the instrumentals. He did the little bow, 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 ba, ba, da, da,
Yeah.
Which is the case with most of our songs. John starts it on guitar and then takes it to us and we expand on it. But obviously I wrote all the vocals and lyrics.
Right. That's awesome. No, so I guess another question is, I don't think this is even on here, but how much was scrapped off that album that just never really made it?
Not a ton.
I feel like that's the way that we write doesn't really yield any like scrapped material, because basically John will write most of the guitar. Then he'll give me the guitar in Guitar Pro. I go and I tab out the drums. We kind of iron out the structure a little bit. Then Brian comes in and like the three of us like finalize the structure basically and add some bells and whistles. Then the demo sits in our Google Drive until Brian picks it and like writes vocals to it. So usually things don't get that far if like Brian can't write something he likes. So we don't end up with any like fully fleshed out songs that don't make the cut because they just don't get that far if they're not going to make the cut. Like we know pretty early if it's worth pursuing.
So I guess
with the exception of ones that were down to release later, like Grievance Bay and FOMO.
Right.
Yeah. So we held those as B-sides intentionally, because at the end of the process we were like they're fine, but they're not like we feel like they don't hold up. It's not integral to the album. Like Watching All Your Friends Get Rich, Right Through Me, the album would not be the same without those songs. But like FOMO and Grievance Pay, we felt like that those could be nice to save for later.
Yeah, I think FOMO was a really nice song, honestly.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, Danger was first favorite, Sales second. Was everyone kind of happy with Jeff's solo, or was there kind of some toying around with that?
Over the moon.
Bro.
He is a fucking maniac. Like,
I know he is.
Maniac.
You are talking about a generational guitar player. Like there's only a couple. Yeah.
We extended the song for him.
It was supposed to be 4 minutes and 20 seconds long, obviously. And then the solo was so good. He was like, yeah, I just wrote a bunch of stuff. Keep whatever you want. And the solo was so good that we're like, all of it, the whole thing, just double the part. Like we literally copy pasted stuff towards the end of the song. Just like, we have to keep going.
Yeah, no, honestly, if there were to be any song that I didn't want to end off that album, it'd be Dangerous. Like Jeff could just keep like writing, and you guys could just keep cutting back in like verses. So it'd be like, Jeff it'd just be like a instrumental verse, lyrical verse. It's just all that stuff. That'd be just sick, man.
Into a metalcore jam band.
Oh, I know. So how do you guys play Danger live? Do you guys?
We don't.
Okay.
We don't.
We haven't played it live yet. If you ever look at our Twitter, basically every day someone tweets at us saying like, when are we going to hear Danger live? And we're like,
Never.
I don't know, a headliner maybe.
Okay, so headliner names. There's a thought for you.
Headlining tour.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just love to hear that song live someday. Even swing back through Iowa when you got a headlining tour. Yeah. I'm really now I'm stoked to see you guys September 26th. I have to. I really shout that out on my Snapchat story for all my Ames friends. But I'm really hoping I can get a group of buddies to go and come support you guys because this is pretty legit. You guys are legit.
Sweet.
So, oh, sorry. Did you have something?
Really quick, I just pulled up to where we're going to be eating dinner. So I got about 2 or 3 more minutes or one more question, but Daniel can probably handle whatever you got left.
Okay, well, we got about an hour of content. That's probably about the range I'm shooting for. So we can wrap up with one question. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about or plug? Like any upcoming dates, anything you guys are really proud of that you guys have done as a band?
Yeah, so we have a tour coming up this fall. We are going to be supporting Real Friends and With Confidence, also with Taylor Acorn opening. That's going to be full US. It's like September 23rd through November 4th, I think. Still a couple more dates, TBD. They will be announced later for various reasons. But yeah, so we'll be on tour supporting those bands. Come out, see us on that tour, pick up some merch, and check out our album, Slow Bloom.
Yeah, do you have a link for the tour dates? Because I can probably link that. I'll link all your guys' stuff in the description. I'll go through all the band members, then the band page, and then tour dates, merch, and then my stuff. Yeah.
Everything is in the our link tree, which is in our bio on like Instagram and Twitter. So we have tour ticket, or we have like tour date link, merch store, Spotify, all that stuff.
Sweet, awesome. Do you guys have any vinyls?
We have a tour exclusive vinyl for Slow Bloom and for both records. We'll probably sell out of the Better Off vinyl pretty early in the tour. We will have both of them in when we play Iowa because it's the second show of the tour.
Gotcha. I don't have a record player personally, but I think it's really neat when bands do the vinyl stuff for those record collectors. Like,
I mean, I don't have a record player either, but I still own vinyl. It sits on a shelf, looks cool.
Or it could hang on a wall. But no, that's awesome. So if you guys have liked this little podcast, please go check out the home team on Spotify. And I appreciate you guys being on here. It means a lot to me. And Brian, you can go have a nice dinner now.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, dude. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Cool. Thanks, Ryan.
See ya.